So hello, welcome back. We are back out in the woods yet again on yet another walk because that is just kind of what I do. It's not as windy today, so I can probably actually talk. And sometimes talking is fun. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I just like to be quiet. But I was out here walking and thinking and figured we could do some updates. I'm kind of hoping either later on today or maybe tomorrow I need to run into town. I hate going anywhere. I'm not going to say that I'm agoraphobic. Hi, little squirrel. Look at him up there. He's so mad. He's like, why are you in my woods? I'm going to make all kinds of noises. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm agoraphobic, but these are the neighbors I really like. Look at him stomping. What a silly butt. Oh, he is so mad at me. Why are you so mad at me, bud? Yeah? I know, I'm walking in your woods and I'm talking out loud. It's terrible. But yeah, I'm not going to say I'm agoraphobic or anything. I can and do go out into the world. I would just prefer not to. I mean, I think technically to be agoraphobic, you have to not go outside at all. Although I don't know about that. That was a weird side tangent. Anyway, I am trying to get out and enjoy being outside while the weather is still nice. It was a very weird weekend. It got downright, I'm not going to say winterish. I mean, I didn't have to turn on the heat or anything, although I did sleep with my electric blanket turned on. And dang it, it was definitely needed because it got down into the, I think, upper 30s for 2 nights. Really weird. Definitely felt like at least fall. And now it's back to, it's supposed to be in the 80s this week. Michigan weather, man. I'm telling you, I think I've said it before, but if you ever visit the Upper Peninsula, I don't care if it's the middle of August, pack everything that you own because you're going to need it. I mean, maybe you won't need your winter coat. Although my late husband's parents have visited up here, and so has my brother. And both my late husband's parents and my brother and sister-in-law are Southerners. One lives in the Tennessee Valley area, and the other one lives in deep South Texas. And when they come up here, I'm wandering around in, like, not the heaviest jacket in the world, like maybe a hoodie. And when my sister-in-law came up here the last time, she was in hat, scarf, gloves, mittens, winter coat, and she was pretty much convinced she was freezing. That was actually the last time that they came up and visited. I kind of wonder if that was maybe because they don't like the weather. I thought it was a mostly nice weekend. A little chilly, but not so bad that I needed a hat and scarf. I guess it's all in what you get used to. Although I lived in the South pretty much the entire time my kids were growing up. I mean, I joke that one of my kids was born a redneck and the other one was born a hillbilly. You know, because they were both born in the South. One of my kids was born in, I don't know if it would be Kentucky or Tennessee. They were born at Fort Campbell Army Base. And I'm pretty sure Fort Campbell is technically considered Kentucky. But at the time we were living in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is technically Tennessee, you know. There are people at that campsite, so we won't go that way. But yeah. And then my other child was born in Arlington, Texas, where I also lived for a few years. So I stayed down in the South for pretty much their whole lives. I wasn't really happy living in the South. There were good parts. But the weather was never considered a good part. No matter how much I whine, and I know that I do whine a lot about the weather, but no matter how much I whine about the wintertime weather that we get, I would take that over the summer heat of Texas or Tennessee, which are the two places I spent most of my time. At least you can get out in the summertime here. And if you dress appropriately, you can get out in the wintertime as well. I need to do that more this year. I've been thinking about maybe getting a pair of actual walking snowshoes this year. Because I have the pair of snowshoes that I found in the house. And they work, but they're also really awkward to walk in. And I don't 100% love that. I mean, I do want to work out. Maybe not that much of a workout. Hello, little bird. What kind of a bird are you? You're a little bird. That's a good question. I don't know what you are. I feel like that's 90% of the birds. Oh, you left. Rude. 90% of the birds and things that I see when I'm out walking, I'm like, what are you? If you're not a chickadee, a blue jay, or a swan, I'm usually pretty flummoxed. So this road just dead ends. It is just a kind of logging path. A lot of the roads up here dead end. I walk them just to see if they actually go somewhere. And also to get my steps in. Speaking of that, even though, no, I'm not actually doing a YouTube weight loss journey, I figured I would update because Monday is the day that I usually do a weigh-in, and I lost another pound over the last week, which is all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for any crazy weight loss, just weight loss. It's kind of funny. I've been tracking my food on, what is that free one? I think it's MyFitnessPal. And I'm not going crazy with it. I'm not like weighing everything and counting every calorie. I do have a food scale, but that is just too compulsive to me. I've done it before. I've had success doing it that way, but that becomes your entire life, and that's not what I want to do. But I was looking at one of the MyFitnessPal's like weekly reports, and according to MyFitnessPal, my diet's kind of crap, but you know, I always knew that. But the part that was funny to me was MyFitnessPal reported on their little weekly thing that I had had an alcoholic drink, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And the only thing I can figure is maybe the Verner's ginger ale that I logged in. Maybe they think ginger ale is alcoholic. It's not, but I found that funny. Just goes to show, even when you're self-reporting, sometimes stuff does not work out correctly. But yeah, I definitely have decided that putting my, let's put some heavy air quotes around it, weight loss journey as like actual content would be pretty pointless. There is a YouTuber that I really enjoy. I've been watching him for a couple of years. He is a lovely Australian called Pulpy Syntax. He pretty much only does live streams now. And he lost a whole bunch of weight, and he's actually kept it off. I am so impressed with him, because I've lost weight a bunch of times. The keeping it off part is always the hard part. But as he says, a successful weight loss journey is very long and very boring. And nobody is here for boring. So I will just let you guys know, and hopefully when my face is on camera, you'll be able to see if it's working or not. But yeah, I weighed in this morning, and I think I lost it was around a pound. It was a little bit over, but everything fluctuates. So as long as it's still going down on a weekly basis, that is kind of all I need. I do love the woods. Oh, I found out, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when I found another new lake. And I said that I didn't know where I was, but I walked through those beautiful, beautiful woods. Well, it turns out that it was just this lake that I am at now that has the dispersed campsites all around it. I didn't know that. I talked to some of my friends who said that it could be a different lake based on my description. But I went back out there this morning, and there were people camping there. So I gathered my courage and I asked what lake it was. And they said it was the one that we were just looking at, where people are camping. And I was like, really? Huh. Interesting little side road. Very cool. Good to know. So now I just know another path back to this lake. It's always kind of cool. Coming out here, especially this time of year, it kind of makes me want to go camping again. And yeah, I have a camper, but the kind of camping it makes me want to do is to get a tent and a sleeping bag and just do the whole roughing it camping. And then I remember that I am a big baby who likes the internet and showers and a refrigerator. I mean, technically I could get a tent and a sleeping bag and camp at one of the lakes around here. I wouldn't have internet, but I could just walk home for a shower. We'll see. Maybe next year we'll bring something like that. It could be fun. I do love, food over a campfire. There's also a little part of me that would like to fulfill one of my bucket list items, but I kind of need to see if maybe there's a tour that would make it so that I didn't have to plan everything. I'm not the best planner. I'm not the most organized person in the world. I try, but it's not my best feature. But on my bucket list, I would like to go to Isle Royale, which is way up in the northern tip of Lake Superior. I mean, technically, I think it's either closer to Minnesota or Canada than it is to Michigan, but it's still considered a part of Michigan. And the entire thing is a national park. There are no humans that live there year-round. There's lots of moose, wolves. Depending on when you go, there's enough mosquitoes to probably carry you away. I did find out something interesting in that there are no actual, supposedly, ticks that attack humans there. There are ticks that are on the local moose population, but evidently they don't bite humans. I've never heard of ticks that didn't bite humans, but hey, sounds good to me. So I don't know. It's on my bucket list. The thing that always stops me is a little bit of fear. Not so much fear if I took the boat out to it, but there are only two ways to get to Isle Royale. One is boat, which is probably the one I would take, and the other one is seaplane. I don't like airplanes. I don't know if I've ever talked about it before, but yeah, I have a fear of flying, and I don't see me getting over it anytime soon, for better or for worse, but you can always take the boat. And then, of course, it's just the planning and making sure that you have all of the equipment you need, because it is a very isolated, remote area full of wildlife. I've actually read different people's, I guess, blogs about being on Isle Royale. And a lot of people talk about waking up and discovering that they are sharing their bedroll with a little fox or some other little creature, because a lot of the wildlife is not really afraid of people because there's no hunting there. And that concept charms me. Not gonna lie. I don't know what I would do, though, if I woke up and there was like a fox curled up next to my head. I mean, what do you do in that situation? The vast majority of me would be like, pet it! But then the grown-up portion of me is like, that would be a really dumb idea, Christine. Unless you want to get bit, and justifiably. I kind of don't even reach out and pet the raccoons. I always want to, but I know better. I think the only thing I really break that rule on is the little birds, because they can choose whether or not to land on me and get seeds. It's not like those are the only seeds that are there. So, yeah. Well, this was just a video about nothing, wasn't it? Except me walking through the woods, as always. I guess I should probably camera around and hold it a little bit more away. And thank you dearly for listening to me babble for like 20 minutes. Let me know if you are into camping. And if so, are you a camper person? Are you a glamper? Do you like tent camping? Have you ever been to Isle Royale? That's a good question. And if so, what did you bring with you and what do you recommend? And yeah, I'm going to finish this walk. I would tell you how many steps I've gotten, but I don't know because you guys are also my tracker. The last time I checked, I was just under 10,000. This isn't like an epic walk. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me babble. And I'll see you guys next time.